Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain TXP and today's the 28th of June 2023 and the price of Bitcoin Cash has definitely pumped up to the moon. As a matter of fact, guys, if you look at the price of Bitcoin Cash or BCH, it is definitely up well over 100% since the last 7 days. So definitely quite a lot to talk about, and looks like there's some technical upgrade, and apart from that, there's also a listing on EDS markets. And that is one of the reasons why the price of Bitcoin Cash or BCH is up by 112%. Apart from that, Pepecoin is up as well. Unfortunately, Bitcoin Core or Bitcoin is relatively the same since the last few days. And looks like, guys, the ETF going live did not have any movements, particularly in the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So we'll definitely very briefly touch base on that. And guys, we have some update regarding Terraform Labs, which is kind of the association that was managing Terra Luna. And unfortunately, $26 million worth in crypto has been seized that were linked to Terraform Labs, and this just means, guys, Dogecoin is definitely in some deep trouble. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore that news. And guys, listen, one thing which I've been saying quite often recently in my Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast is that there are very limited use case of Web3 technology, and to be honest, guys, a lot of the Bitcoin maximalists and a lot of people who truly understand what Bitcoin is truly would agree to this. And recently there was also a survey by YouGov and Consensus, and they actually found out that people truly don't understand what Web3 protocol is. So we'll definitely go on and talk about that in today's episode. And guys, since the last quarter of 2022, artificial intelligence has definitely taken the world by storm, and we have some update regarding fundings going into the projects that are connected to artificial intelligence. And 3 projects, guys, have raised $2 billion worth of fundings. So definitely interesting news. And if you're someone who's working into the artificial intelligence space, there's definitely a lot of area and a lot of opportunities to make quite a lot of money. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast, we're going to be discussing 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news, guys, is more of an article which is published in CoinDesk. And the article actually talks about Dubai is launching a crypto regulatory arm to become a global financial provider. So we'll very briefly touch base on that. And lately, guys, even Cointelegraph has been publishing quite a lot of articles, and they have taken inputs from some key people in Binance and quite a lot of other. And the second news, guys, is a massive news, and this is regarding launching of Dubai's digital strategy. And His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum has launched the Dubai digital strategy along with a range of new digital projects. So we'll definitely go ahead and talk about that. So quite a lot to cover, guys, in today's episode. So let's kickstart with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as we kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee a Day has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. They'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us. From the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies, we'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee a Day. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee a Day, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE, and Middle East region. Now, before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Shalhoub Group, a luxury retail and distributor which is headquartered in Dubai, are getting into the NFT game. And here's the deal, guys. They are not just getting into the NFT and metaverse space, they are going to be shaping the NFT, metaverse, and Web 3.0 space, which I believe is excellent not just for Dubai and UAE, but also for the global cryptocurrency community as well. And guys, Shalhoub Group's Web 3.0 sneaker brand called Soulmates revealed their first NFT collection on the 12th of April. Now, what is really interesting is that it's called as Soulmates, so it's spelled as S for sugar, O for orange, L for Larry. Now, instead of E, they have replaced it with Web3, and it is the number 3, mates.xyz. And guys, listen, Shalhoub Group has over half a century's worth of experience in luxury goods, and them getting into the NFT space is a massive deal. Now, if you're a sneakerhead, you definitely need to check out soulmates.xyz. And once again, guys, the number is 3 instead of an E. It has all the information, and in the show notes below, you'll get all the information. And listen, guys, if you want to be an early adopter, you can also pre-mint it at www.premint.xyz/soulmates. So definitely check it out. And they have a Discord community as well. And guys, Nick, who is the head of corporate innovation at Shalhoub Group and also the co-founder of Soulmates, has a WhatsApp group where he constantly provides updates in the area of NFTs, Metaverse, and Web 3.0. So guys, check out soulmates.xyz and be part of the Soulmates OG NFT that is definitely going to shape the industry. Next, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs, and these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, if you're someone who's a massive advocate of Bitcoin Cash, or if you're an advocate of Bitcoin to be used as a medium of payment rather than a store of value, you definitely would be pumped up to know that the price of Bitcoin Cash in particular has been doing ridiculously good among all the 24,000 cryptocurrencies. It is up by well over 112% since the last 7 days. So definitely positive news. And guys, just at the outset, you should know that Bitcoin Cash is a fork of Bitcoin, and this was the drama that did actually happen in 2016. That has more to do with increasing the block size. And Roger Ver, guys, also called as Bitcoin Jesus, was a massive proponent of Bitcoin Cash. Now, since the last 24 hours, the prices are definitely good, and we'll very briefly touch base on that. But before that, guys, let's take a quick snapshot of the global cryptocurrency market, because as of now, it is at $1.12 trillion, and could be possible that over the weekend, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and the global cryptocurrency market maybe crosses the $1.50 trillion mark. Now, since the last 24 hours, it is up by 1.36%. Now, the total crypto market volume, guys, over the last 24 hours has actually gone down by 7.06%. And if you look at the volume, it is only at $35.52 billion. The volume of DeFi is not doing good either. It is at $2.34 billion. And DeFi, guy, accounts for 6.49% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And so far as the total value locked is concerned, it is down to $44.97 billion. And just a reminder, guys, once again, on the 4th of January 2022, the total value locked in DeFi protocols was over $240 billion. So from $240 billion, right now the total value locked is only $44.97 billion. And if you look at the 24-hour volume of DeFi, guys, it is not looking good either. It is only at $2.57 billion. And if you were to compare it, let's say, with daily transactions, even for a regular bank, this number is absolutely ridiculously low. And Lido, guys, so far as total value locked is concerned, is clearly dominating with $14.19 billion. Now, regarding Lido, guys, which I keep mentioning every day in my Crypto and Coffee Day podcast, it is important to note that when it comes to Lido, the protocol actually deposits into other protocols too, or is under liquid staking category as well. Hence, its total value locked is subtracted from the total value locked because both liquid staking and double counting toggles are off. So I thought I'd just mention that. Now let's look at the 24-hour volume, because the volume of Uniswap has definitely crossed the $1 billion mark once again, and it is at $1.18 billion. And PancakeSwap is number second with $250.45 million. Balancer is number third at $237.33 million. Core Finance at $200.41 million. And guys, Dodo is at $108.96 million. And guys, what I've noticed this lately is whenever the volume in Dodo Finance picks up pace, the volume of Uniswap also picks up pace. So really, I'm sure that there is some kind of correlation. So if you're someone who's working in the DeFi space, definitely go ahead and hit me up in the comment section as to what is the correlation. Now guys, let's look at the volume of stablecoins. The volume of stablecoin accounts for 91.73% of the total crypto market volume. And this, to be honest, guys, is definitely not ideal, considering the fact that the volume of all stablecoins is only at $32.58 billion. And Tether USDT, guys, accounts for $23.35 billion. Circle USDC is at $3.77 billion. And few days ago, guys, I also noticed that the market cap of MakerDAO has overtaken the market cap of Binance BUSD. Now, Binance BUSD's market cap is hovering somewhere between the $4.2 billion. But if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, it is down to $2.40 billion. Now, I wouldn't be surprised, guys, over the weekend, the market cap of Binance BUSD does actually go down below the $4 billion mark. Now let's quickly look at the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin's market cap, guys, is a little shy of touching the $600 billion mark. It is currently at $595 billion. Ethereum, to be honest, hasn't moved at all. It is only at $227 billion. So looks like, guys, there are a lot of purchase going on, particularly in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Unfortunately, the browsers of Ethereum has been relatively consistent for almost 2 months now. Now the 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin is $16.2 billion, whereas Ethereum is $7.71 billion. The dominance of Bitcoin has definitely picked up pace at 50.06%, and the dominance of Ethereum is at 19.12%. Now I just have a quick quiz for you guys. What was the highest dominance that Ethereum did actually reach? Now it's no surprise to know that Ethereum's dominance did actually reach an all-time high, and this was during the ICO era. So the big question is, what percentage was Ethereum's dominance when it was at its all-time high? Mention them in the comments below. Now in today's episode, guys, what I'm going to be looking at is the decentralized apps. And what you can do is, guys, you can check these data yourself via dappradar.com. So what I'm going to be doing, guys, is I'm going to be looking at the unique number of active wallets interacting with decentralized app smart contracts. And then what you can do is, guys, you can compare it with the dollar volume. So are there people using these dApps and are they buying or selling their goods? Now it could be possible that there are certain protocols that do not do purchasing or selling and they're just used, let's say, for logging in and logging out. And that, to be honest, guys, is a classic use case of Web 3.0. And later on, we'll also look at what the world thinks of Web 3.0 protocols. Now let me very briefly run through the decentralized apps that are first working on Ethereum, and then we look at decentralized apps that are working on Binance BNB chain. Now number one clearly is Uniswap version 3, and the number of users, guys, is 13.22 thousand users. Uniswap version 2 is number second, is roughly around 12,000 users. Now needless to say, guys, because these are exchanged, if you look at the dollar value, the number is in millions. Now the number third though is OpenSea, and the number of users is roughly around 7,000 people. So roughly around 7,000 people are actually interacting with the decentralized app smart contract. And guys, what I really want you to do is look at the numbers yourself. Because a few days ago, guys, I did look at Decentraland, and I did mention this thing recently in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast as well. If you look at it in dollar value, and the number was only $532. So imagine, guys, $1 billion company, but the number of transactions taking place is only $532. Absolutely ridiculous and scary, to be honest. Now, guys, let's look at the decentralized apps on Binance BNB chain. And Alien Worlds, guys, has 245,000 users interacting with the decentralized app smart contract. But if you look at the dollar value, it is ridiculously low. So it could be possible, guys, that when it comes to Alien Worlds, people are just using it, let's say, to logging in, logging out, or talking to someone, or maybe it has something to do with social media or different protocols. And the reason I wanted to discuss this is, guys, you need to understand what that protocol is. It could be possible that protocols like Alien Worlds or something other is something similar to Twitter. So let's say you're tweeting, you're liking, or you're commenting, and that's one of the reasons why the interaction is high. Now the number second is Stargate, and the number of users is 139,000, and the third one, guys, is Iskra, and the number of users is 101,000. Now in today's episode, guys, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to give out basic level explanation on what Lido DAO is, because lately Lido DAO, or ever since Ethereum did actually started staking withdrawals, Lido has been dominating, and prior to that, guys, MakerDAO has been dominating so far as the total value locked is concerned. But ever since Ethereum staking withdrawal kicked in, Lido DAO, or Lido's decentralized autonomous organization, is definitely leading the pack so far as total value locked is concerned. So let me try to give out some basic level pieces of information. Now the ticker symbol for Lido DAO is LDO, and the price is $1.86. And if you look at it via CoinMarketCap, guys, it is currently ranked at number 32. So essentially, guys, Lido DAO, guys, is a decentralized autonomous organization, also called as DAO, which provides staking infrastructure for multiple blockchain networks. And most notably, guys, the platform provides a liquid staking solution for Ethereum and allowing users to stake their Ethereum and receive staked ETH, also called as Lido Staked ETH, tokens in exchange, which represents the user staked ETH and staking rewards. And Lido DAO, guys, is secured by a mix of decentralized governance, audited code, and smart contracts. And the Lido protocol runs on Ethereum with help from smart contracts that processes user deposits and distributes staking rewards, among other functions. And what's really important to know, guys, that several third-party security firms have audited Lido smart contracts in order to identify and address potential vulnerabilities. And the platform's native token, also called as LDO, also serves as a governance token for Lido DAO. And holders, guys, can participate in governance proposals and vote on key decisions such as board adjustments, new integrations, and platform updates. And LDO holders have the right to determine the development and operation of the platform. Now what I want you to do is, guys, think of this, let's say, with a centralized entity. Now when you talk about customer service, a centralized entity can make decisions faster, maybe in just a matter of few hours. But when it comes to decentralized or DAO protocols, the biggest problem is it's the community that gets to decide, and then you have to do a voting, and often, guys, this takes months, maybe even years in order to go ahead and update these changes. But nonetheless, going back to the news, so far as LDO is concerned, LDO also has economic values where users can stake it on Lido platform to receive ETH rewards, as well as use to pay transaction fees on the platform. And guys, Lido supports liquid staking coins for 5 blockchain protocols such as Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, Polkadot, Kusama, and I'm pretty much sure in the future there will be many other. Now let's quickly look at who are the founders of Lido DAO, because Lido was established by Konstantin Lomashuk, Vasily Shapovalov, and Jordan Fish in 2020, and the organization was helped to launch by a collective of financial firms and angel investors. And I remember, guys, the finance firms included Semantic VC, Parafied Capital, Libertas Capital, Staking Facilities, P2P Capital, and quite a lot of other. And guys, the handful of angel investors who helped Lido get off the ground included Stanley Kuchelov of Aave, Bantek of Yearn Finance, Will Harborn of Diversify, and Julian Bostow of Stake Capital, and Kane Bursnick of Synthetics as well. Now let me very briefly run through what is it that makes Lido unique, because Lido, guys, aims to make staking more accessible to a wider range of users by pooling staked ether from multiple users, which negates the need for any technical expertise on behalf of users, and users don't need to commit a minimum of 32 Ethereum to run their own validator node, which lets more people stake the Ethereum. And Lido Liquid Staking version 2 or Lido V2 is the latest major release of the Lido DAO protocol, and it was designed to provide a more efficient and versatile staking solutions for Ethereum 2.0. And one of Lido V2's key features, guys, is its liquid staking model, which allows users to deposit Ethereum into Lido pool and receive staked ETH, and the ticker symbol for that is STETH tokens in return, and these tokens can be traded on secondary market or used on LSDFI protocols, providing users with a more liquid form of stake Ethereum that can be used for other purposes. And overall, guys, Lido DAO network is a robust and secure system that enables users to participate in governance and earn reward while helping the network to stay secure. And one trend, guys, when I look at DeFi, ever since staking withdrawals in Ethereum kicked in, Lido has been dominating so far as total value locked is concerned. And prior to that, historically, it has always been MakerDAO. Now, guys, let's quickly look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin, because the price of Bitcoin did actually go down to $30,262, and since the last 24 hours, guys, it is down by 0.82%, but if you look at it over a period of 7 days, it is up by 13.20%. Ethereum is at $1,855. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 2.29%. Since the last 7 days, guys, it is up by 7.60%. Binance BNB Coin, guys, is not looking that great. It is at $236. Since the last 24 hours, it is marginally down by 1.02%. Since the last 7 days, guys, it is down by 2.55%. But the biggest gainer, guys, since the last few days is Bitcoin Cash. And one thing which I did mention earlier, guys, Bitcoin Cash is a fork of Bitcoin. Now you can argue and say which Bitcoin is a real Bitcoin. Now some proponents, I could even say some Bitcoin maximalists who have gradually shifted into Bitcoin Cash, do actually state that Bitcoin Cash is actually following the ethos and the original vision of Satoshi Nakamoto. So the interpretation is up to you guys. Just because the value and the price of Bitcoin Core is high, that does not make it the real Bitcoin. The same thing for Ethereum, guys. The Ethereum that we know right now is not the Ethereum. Ethereum Classic is the original Ethereum. But nonetheless, the news is that Bitcoin Cash is up by over 100% in the last 7 days. And there are a couple of reasons, guys, why the prices have actually gone high. One of them is the technical improvement and the listing of EDX markets. Now, the technical update that did actually take place in Bitcoin Cash is called as Cash Tokens. And what are the benefits of that is that it could be used for various applications, from payment stable coins and commodities to gift cards and event tickets and quite a lot of other. Now, personally, guys, I do not use Bitcoin Cash, so I don't want to give out any user experience regarding Bitcoin Cash, but I'm pretty much sure there are quite a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space who are avid users of Bitcoin Cash. And Kim.com, he definitely prefers Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin Core. And even Roger Ver, guys, who is also called as the Bitcoin Jesus, he's often said that Bitcoin Cash might be the best form of peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Now, apart from the technical update, guys, there was also a listing on EDS markets, and that has most likely fueled trading interest in Bitcoin Cash tokens. So some of the key takeaways or the reasons why the price of Bitcoin Cash is up by 100% are as follows. Bitcoin Cash open interest has surged by over $400 million, and that is because of two news. And rising open interest indicates higher inflows and improved sentiment, and plans for scaling the system with cash tokens have also added renewed interest in Bitcoin Cash. And it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what happens to the price of Bitcoin Cash probably a week from now. I wouldn't be surprised if the prices actually do marginally go down. But listen guys, if you're talking about cryptocurrencies and if you want to use it for micropayments, Bitcoin Cash is definitely the way to go. And another fork of Bitcoin Cash is Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. But more importantly guys, what I'd really recommend you do is try to understand the key difference between Bitcoin Core, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, and then make up your own mind. Now guys, let's discuss some news regarding Terraform Labs. And law enforcement officials in Switzerland reportedly seized approximately $26 million in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, and they are believed to be linked to Terraform Labs and its co-founder Do Kwon. And local media guys in South Korea revealed that the funds were confiscated from Signum Bank, which is a crypto bank based in Zurich. And here is the surprising and interesting thing guys, the US Security and Exchange Commission is said to have played a significant role in this operation. Now, if you do want to look at the original news, the news is in South Korean website called as Digital Asset South Korea. So maybe you'll have to translate it to English and then you might get a better picture. And look guys, in 2022, Terra Luna was one of the projects that did actually start the collapse and the domino of cryptocurrencies to fall down. Even FTX went miserably belly up, and it was partially linked to Terraform Labs as well. So my big question guys is, now there are $26 million in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies that was seized by Switzerland authority. What happens to this $26 million? Is it kept by the Switzerland authority, or are these funds given to people who have lost millions of dollars because of the collapse of Terra Luna? At this point of time, I really am not sure, but I'm definitely hoping that $26 million do actually go to people who have lost their funds. But then this big question is, how do the funds get distributed? Do people who have invested little get the more, or people who have invested more get the more? Because there are two arguments that can be made. Let's say if someone who's an average individual worker who does not have funds, he might have utilized part of his savings, maybe $100 and $200, which for him might be high, and he might have tried to put it in Terra Luna, and that $100 or $200 might actually mean more for him than, let's say, a multimillionaire who might have just lost, let's say, a few $100,000. So it's going to be really interesting to see if the funds are going to be distributed and who gets what and how is the funds going to be distributed. Now guys, let's discuss some news regarding Web 3.0. And listen guys, I'm not a massive advocate of Web 3.0 because I very strongly feel that there are very limited use cases of Web 3.0 beyond logging in and logging out, rather than using your email address. If you were to use, let's say, your private key and public key, that is one area where Web 3.0 kicks in. Apart from that, I very strongly feel Web 3.0 is just a gimmick used by startups and CEOs in order to get funding by venture capitalists and in order to get funding from banks and high net worthy individuals. Now, YouGov and Consensus did a survey, and they conducted a global Web 3 perception survey in 15 countries all across the continent. And this multi-country study did actually aim to provide a global and regional view of the perceptions around people regarding cryptocurrencies, NFTs, Web3, blockchain, and the metaverse. And what they found out is, guys, nobody actually knows what Web3 is. As a matter of fact, only 24% of respondents globally were aware of the concept of Web 3.0. And the whole idea of doing this survey was that it was aimed to understand people's feelings about the current internet and whether or not recent centralized financial crypto companies' bankruptcies have affected the sector. If you do want to read through the report, guys, you're more than welcome to read it on the Consensus website. So let me very briefly run through the key highlights, because the key theme of the message, guys, is that nobody knows what Web 3.0 is. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, only 24% of respondents globally are aware of the concept of Web 3.0. And guys, what I'm noticing lately is in LinkedIn, pretty much 8 out of 10 people I know have changed their profile to Web 3 experts. And I can genuinely tell you guys that really don't understand what Web 3.0 is. But nonetheless, going back to the survey, 83% of respondents globally think that data privacy is important, whereas 79% want more control over their identity on the internet. But guys, listen, if you were to look at this data and match with the actual use case, and this is where the nature of privacy con kicks in, and I tend to look at this data on a daily basis. If you look at the 24-hour trading volume of, let's say, Monero or Zcash or even Dash or even Mask Network, unfortunately, the volume is ridiculously low. So these points regarding privacy, these points regarding control over the own identity sounds actually great, but unfortunately, guys, the user adoption is ridiculously low, and 67% of respondents globally believe that they should own the things that they make on the internet. and 92% of respondents globally have heard of crypto. That is the future of money. Now here's the interesting bit, guys. 76% of respondents in UK have never owned an NFT, compared to only 24% of respondents in Vietnam. And guys, the survey also said that respondents in Germany, Vietnam, India, and South Africa are more likely to declare that bankruptcy of centralized cryptocurrency companies had no impact on the trust in the ecosystem. So definitely interesting report. And guys, if you go through the report, it does give you a detailed breakdown of how many people they have interviewed, the age group, and quite a lot of other. So the report is definitely comprehensive. But one thing, guys, once again to remember is when you talk about privacy, and if you were to compare it, let's say with actual user experience, people are just not using so-called Web 3.0 protocol. And this is something which Fluffy Pony, the lead maintainer of Monero, did actually mention as well, because he was under the impression that people would be really curious about privacy, they would be curious about data security, and unfortunately, guys, what he anticipated is definitely not matching with the actual use case. So listen, guys, this is what I have to say when it comes to privacy. And if you were to ask a question, are you concerned about privacy? And do you believe that you should be owner of your own data? The answer would be 100% yes. But when it comes to actual use case, let's say logging into the computer or using things via devices, you're definitely going to choose user experience, and you're more than willing to part away with some of the privacy and security. Now, unfortunately, these are just the facts, guys. Now, guys, let's discuss some news regarding artificial intelligence. And looks like, guys, there is a lot of money to be made, particularly in the field of artificial intelligence. And Mosaic ML, No Traffic, and Calypso AI have raised $2 billion, signaling an intensified interest from investors in the dynamic and profitable artificial intelligence sector. And Decrypt, guys, did actually mention and provide this report. Now, one thing you need to remember, guys, it is absolutely clear that the future will be less about artificial intelligence as a standalone concept and more about how humans and artificial intelligence can combine to foster a better world. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? Now, if you're someone who's working in the artificial intelligence space, you definitely need to be looking at the investments that are actually pulling in. And one of the projects, guys, that is Mosaic ML, and they were actually acquired by Databricks. And if you actually go into detail, guys, the number is definitely impressive, because what Databricks did actually pay in order to acquire this company equates to roughly around $21 million per employee, and that's the price, guys. Databricks is paying to Mosaic ML, which is at $1.3 billion for roughly around 62 employees. And guys, there is a Twitter ID called as Matt Truck. He has actually mentioned all the details, and what he actually mentioned in that tweet is that if you're going to be aggressively acquiring generative artificial intelligence startups, you're definitely going to have to pay up. And he also said that it may turn out to be cheap in the long term given the size of opportunity. So look, guys, artificial intelligence has definitely taken the world by storm. And to be honest, guys, since 2023, I'm seeing no news regarding metaverse, not just in Dubai, UAE, in the Middle East, but globally as well. I'm hardly seeing any news regarding metaverse, and it's really hard to cover news in my Metaverse Everything podcast. Now, those are the news, guys, from Crypto and Coffee at 8 from Blockchain DXP. Now, let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. Now, the first news, guys, is mind you an article which is written by CoinDesk, and it talks about how Dubai is launching a crypto regulatory arm to become a global financial provider. So let me very briefly run through what that article is. Because Dubai, guys, has emerged a global crypto hub since the establishment of VARA, also called as Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, in March of 2022. And Dubai, as of today, ranks number 5th in CoinDesk Crypto Hubs 2023 with extremely high scores in regulatory structure and opportunities. And the UAE, guys, as we know, has attracted jurisdiction shoppers like Binance COCZ and crypto exchange WowZerex from India as well. And Dubai's regulatory structure is highly rated, but the overall crypto adoption score for the UAE is relatively low. But Dubai, guys, excels in the opportunity category with per capita crypto events, companies, and jobs. And the city, guys, as we know, has the second highest quality of life scores among the sample cities. And based on the article, guys, Dubai and Abu Dhabi are rated highest in regulatory structure, a heavily weighted criteria. And Dubai has been growing as a business and financial services hub by embracing innovation and engaging with IBM on new technologies as well. And the city officially announced discussions on a legal framework for cryptocurrencies in 2016. And guys, there were several events going back to 2016 in Emirates Tower. And one of the events, guys, that used to take place in Emirates Tower was the Next Money series. And mind you, guys, this time the price of Bitcoin was roughly around $160. And fast forward to 2022, guys, as a matter of fact, in March 2022, Dubai did actually establish VARA, that is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, and it is the world's first independent crypto regulator. And the UAE, guys, as we know, has become a viable alternative for the crypto industry due to the US Security Exchange Commission's lawsuits and unclear regulations. And Dubai, guys, is a relatively small city, and its diverse population of over 3.2 million non-Emiratis make it a melting pot for blockchain technology use cases. And the article also shares some use cases, and use cases include remittances for workers, sending money home and facilitating capital flight from unstable economies. And Dubai also offers a home for various types of use cases, making it unique as a crypto hub. And the government, guys, did actually unveil the Dubai Metaverse strategy, aiming to create one of the world's top 10 metaverse economies by 2030. And the company aims to attract 1,000 blockchain and metaverse companies and create 40,000 virtual jobs. And Dubai did actually host GITEX event, which is a leading tech conference with a focus on blockchain and Web3. And to be honest, guys, I did share my opinion regarding GITEX. And lately, guys, there are several crypto events, and crypto events in Dubai include Binance Blockchain Week and Dubai FinTech Week, which did actually take place in May in an iconic location of Souk Madinat. And Dubai's strategic location, guys, facilitates global networking and collaboration, being close to North Africa, Asia, and Europe. And Dubai, guys, is not only a travel destination but also fosters global networking and collaboration. And going back to GITEX, guys, the article states that it had 170,000 attendees in 2022, showcasing the city's tech prominence. And Dubai embraces blockchain technology with deliberation and intention, and Dubai aims to become a global financial power and a top metaverse economy. And one of the visions of Sheikh Hamdan, guys, is for Dubai to be the top 10 city in the world so far as metaverse is concerned. And in Web 3.0, he wants it to become the number one city in the world. And the UAE's open approach to crypto provides an alternative to the regulatory challenges that are currently being faced in the United States. And this, guys, also leads to the second news for today, where Hamdan bin Mohammed launches Dubai's digital strategy along with a range of new digital projects. But what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, in order to stay updated with the information, make sure that you follow Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, because he does provide some really useful tweets as well. So let me try to break down what that news is all about. Because Hamdan bin Mohammed launches Dubai's digital strategy. Now the official news, guys, in order for you to check it, is via mediaoffice.ae, and it is the official government website in order to check any updates regarding Dubai. And the strategy, guys, called as Dubai's digital strategy, aims to digitize all aspects of Dubai and enhance the digital economy. And strategy is based on 7 key pillars, that is digital city, digital economy, data and statistics, digital talent, digital infrastructure, cybersecurity, and digital competitiveness. And the objectives include increasing positive impact of digital well-being, achieving top ranking in United Nations Local Online Service Index, and launching 50 digital city experiences. And over 120 government smartphone applications have already been developed, and government entities have achieved a compliance rate of over 80%, guys, with cybersecurity indicators and 100% compliance with Dubai data law. And to be honest, guys, if you see how the government works, and if you were to compare it, let's say, with other countries, I can definitely state that Dubai government is definitely taking 10 steps ahead and are definitely much faster than probably any other government I've seen. And Dubai, guys, has also completed 3 phases of digital transformation since 2001, and Dubai's digitization rate of government services is currently at 99.5%, and paperless government objective has been achieved by 100%. And guys, in 2016, there was so much talk about Dubai blockchain strategy, and one of the visions back then was to have a paperless government objectives and promises made and promises kept. And this, guys, is the power of having a rural stable economy. And guys, you always need to remember that digital transactions account for 87% of total government services transactions now, and over 50,000 professionals will be equipped with advanced digital qualification. And Digital City Experiences initiative are launched to provide integrated and connected city experiences, and new versions of Dubai official website called as Dubai.ae has been launched to offer access to information and digital services. So what I really recommend you to do is, guys, just go through this website called Dubai.ae. It does provide a plethora of information, let's say for travel, for business, and general information as well. And guys, regarding Dubai digital strategies news, Dubai Transactions Index allows monitoring of government service performance in real time, and Digital Accession Initiatives integrates with generative artificial intelligence into the Smart Employee application for easy access to services. And Dubai Leadership Dashboard provides real-time reliable city indicators for decision making. And there's also a project called as Maha Project, and the Maha Project is developed for securing online government services and monitoring vulnerabilities. And happiness monitor and environment quality is also there. And the happiness meter and environmental quality Internet of Things assesses public's happiness and environmental indicators. And guys, if you're traveling through metro, you would see certain parts which actually talks about the happiness meter, and you can give your rating in that as well. So those were the news, guys, regarding the Dubai digital strategy from Crypto Inc. 88 from Blockchain DXB. And in case if you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. I have a question by Sean who asks, why do you keep saying that Web 3.0 has no use case? Because there's so much hype surrounding Web 3.0. I 100% agree, Sean, that there's so much of hype surrounding Web 3.0. Now, one of my biggest problems is a lot of people who actually talk about Web 3.0 are truly not qualified to actually talk about Web 3.0. Now listen, Sean, the terminology called Web 3.0 goes back to 2014, and Dr. Gavin Wood, one of the co-founders of Ethereum, did actually mention that terminology called as Web 3.0. Now listen to this, Sean. There are very limited use cases of Web 3.0. So one of the use cases, let's say rather than using your email address, if you were to use your private key and public key, which is connected to your public address, that is one use case of Web 3.0. So rather than using your email address, which let's say Google has access to it, or let's say Yahoo or Hotmail or any other email service provider, now you have full control over your data. That is one use case. So let's say, for instance, if you were to logging into Facebook, rather than using your email address or mobile phone, if you were to use, let's say, a private key, that is one use case of using Web 3.0. That's not to say that you own your data. It could be possible, let's say, Facebook still actually owns your data. And to be honest, you always need to take into consideration the user experience. What is it that Facebook does with so much of data? Now granted, 80% or 90% of them, they go out and utilize it to make more money, but at the same time, Facebook is also able to offer user experience. And one thing, Sean, which a lot of people, particularly in the Web 3.0 space, do not realize is people are going to switch to Web 3.0 only if it offers a better user experience. So let's say if you were to build social media platforms on Web 3.0 protocol, it has to be on an open blockchain, and unfortunately, the user experience is just going to be absolutely terrible. What happens, let's say, if someone hacks actually my private key and public key? Now granted, it's impossible to hack, but let's say someone does actually steal, or accidentally if I give out my private key, all of my social media interactions on blockchain protocol is 100% gone, absolutely unretrievable. But in case of a centralized entity, I can contact the Facebook team, I can contact, let's say, Instagram, and get my issue resolved. And now, mind you, I'm not talking about social media. Let's look at it in different industries. Let's say insurance, let's say banking, let's say finance sector. And unfortunately, Sean, Web 3.0 does have actually very limited use case. Now, one use case I can think of is, let's say, NFTs. Now, granted, having NFTs does have some benefits, but once again, if you look at the user report, only 24% of people do actually you have NFTs, and these are mostly high net worthy individuals or people who are degenerates and are into gambling, and those are the guys who have NFTs. But to be honest, personally, I do think that there are very limited use case. Now, Bitcoin, to be honest, is a classic use case of Web 3.0, but other than that, you always need to keep into consideration the user experience, and it has to be 10 times better. Apart from that, more importantly, and this is probably a message to all those people in LinkedIn who have mentioned Web 3 in their protocol, you need to understand the blockchain trilemma problem. A lot of them truly don't understand what the blockchain trilemma problem is. So any blockchain protocol that offers, let's say, a faster transaction per second, they're either compromising on, let's say, decentralization or distributed nature of consensus, or I like to call it, or they're compromising on security. So getting the mix of all these things are definitely not in play. And to be honest, I do feel that centralized systems do offer a much better use case. And Sean, once again, I've said this several times in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, is the term Web 3.0 is just all hype, and a lot of CEOs, startups, and CTOs are just using that terminology in order to get more funding from venture capitalists, in order to get more funding from bankings and hedge funds. Other than that, absolutely no use case of Web 3.0. Now, these are my thoughts. Now, what I really want to do is maybe have a series of episodes debunking Web 3.0. Because look, Sean, there have been numerous narratives that have been built in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space. Going back to 2008, there was this massive hype about Bitcoin being called as an internet money. Then the narrative changed that blockchain, not Bitcoin. Then there was this whole ICO hype in 2017, followed by the DeFi hype. And I could see so many experts in DeFi world that they were talking about decentralized finance changing the entire world. And if you look at the volume of DeFi right now, it is absolutely ridiculous. Then there was this massive hype about NFTs, and I used to see so many posts, guys, regarding NFTs via LinkedIn. And lately, to be honest, I'm not seeing any posts regarding NFTs. I'm not seeing any news regarding NFTs as well. And then there was this massive hype about Metaverse. And one thing which I noticed, there were a lot of profiles on LinkedIn. All of a sudden, they became experts in Metaverse overnight. And now after Metaverse, the next hype is Web 3.0. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Web 3.0 hype dies down as well. And the message shown to you and other listeners is Web 3.0 has very, very limited use case. And unfortunately, it is just all hype. And it is a way for CEOs, CTOs, and tech founders to get fundings from venture capitals, hedge funds, and financial institutions. Now, if you do want to find out more information on how to understand what Web 3.0 is, what I'd really recommend you to do is listen to what Dr. Gavin Wood has actually mentioned, because he actually termed the terminology called Web 3.0. So that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series from Blockchain DXB. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee Date works is we usually cover some top news and information, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.